Hello there, welcome to the GoGreen project assignment. We're going to try to get through this with as little movies as possible, but I believe I'm going to have several movies that have to be made to get through this without each movie being so long. I first want to play the GoGreen movie. I want to thank Sean Sheehan for his hard work on creating this entire project, which I have a little bit of changes in it, a little bit of my own edits, and that's actually a nice statement to make because I want you to have your own look to this. Don't try to turn yours in and make it exactly like mine. You don't have to. Add your own nuances, your own artistic stuff, and then it can be for your portfolio, okay? This is what the actual 10-second movie looks like, okay, with a fade in and a fade out. Now Sean's is a bit different, and I'll put his in there so you can see that change is good. Okay, he uses a Adobe Illustrator butterfly, which is wonderful to use. That was a butterfly from my wife's garden, which I brought into Photoshop and cut half of the wing out. So that's actually a duplicated wing, just set on a pivot and used along a motion path with an expression. I only had to actually do a motion on half of the wing, and then an expression finished it off. But to get to the After Effects file project, we are going to start, and first I'm going to show you that I am going to be adding to the file that I've already created. Yours is, of course, see how my project window has stuff in it? Yours isn't going to have anything in it, all right? So I can refer to things and do this a little bit faster. I'm going to name everything on screen for the new stuff so that I can organize my own self. It says that this actual title sequence, which is great, this opening sequence, or the title sequence, was actually inspired from the movie Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. And again, Sean did a really good job on this, so let's just get on with it. It says to watch the tutorial movies and feel free to change this as you want to change it. It asks you to create a new comp that is going to be actually the assembly comp for the GoGreen project. We're not going to use it yet, but we're going to create a new comp. So I'm going to go to comp, new comp, which is Command N, and I'm going to call this GoGreen Final on Screen. And it says that the size it's going to be 800 by 480. So I'm going to change mine from 800 to 480. You're going to have to uncheck lock aspect ratio so you can change these independently. Square pixels is what we're going to maintain. 10 seconds is our duration, and black is our color. So everything seems good. GoGreen Final on screen, and I'm going to put it down here. Now, of course, I said we're not going to use this yet. And the next step is actually it wants you to go get the plant AI file from the asset folder. And then it wants you to retain the layer sizes. So you know there's several ways. You can hit Command I to import, or you can double click the project window. Here is, let me back out of this a little bit. In the footage folder, there's a stills. In stills, there's the plant layers. Single click on the plant AI. It has a whole mishmash of stuff in there, but we don't want to import it as footage. We want to import it as a composition retaining layer sizes. So now when it comes in, it's going to import in a composition. Most of the time you won't want that composition. I'll double click it to show you what it's like. It's a whole mishmash of stuff, as you can see. I don't want it, so I'm just going to pick it up and I'm going to trash it. I'm going to tell it that it can go away, and that's fine. Now we do want the plant layers. Now I already have a whole set of plant layers that I've dropped into my stills folder. So you should make yourself a stills folder, and inside of it drop in the plant layers. So now I don't want two plant layers in here, so let me trash those, which I don't need. Now let's go into the plant layers and let's get the stem. The stem that I used was this stem right here, okay? And we are going, you can use any one of the stems that you want to use. There's that stem, there's this stem, there's that stem, there's this stem. Doesn't matter to me which one you use, it's up to you. But we're going to use that stem. So what does it want me to do? It wants to drop your stem into the new composition button. So you make your stem, I'm going to get rid of Command R because I don't need rulers on right now. And there is my stem. Now, as I say in the bottom of page 1, your job at this point, let me find my PDF. Your job at this point is to let me scroll down here. Make the plant 1 comp, okay, which I'm going to name plant 1 on screen, was 280 on the width. Let's make it 500. Oh my, there's my home phone, which is going to continue to ring until somebody answers it. So ignore it, okay? I'm sorry. I'm not going to pick it up. It's going to have to go to voicemail. So it was 280 by 500, and a height of 748 is what it was. I'm going to make it 1100. Now, I realized that mine wasn't wide enough in the first place, so I'm actually going to go back to my first comp and make it 600 wide, which it was wide enough at 500, but it looks more comfortable at 600, and you'll see what I mean in a second. So let me minimize that, and let's go in and take this stem plant comp, which I'm going to rename. So I'm going to hit the return key, and I'm going to go in here, or I could have renamed it there, or I could go into composition settings and rename it here. It doesn't matter where you go do it, as long as you do it. So let me go plant 01 and on screen, just so I keep my head straight here. Was 280, let's make it 600. And it was 748, let's make it 1100. Now I have 10 seconds long, it's perfect, everything is perfect on it, then we're good to go. Now, see how I have it a little bit bigger? Let me go to fit here so we can see how it fits in there. This is the one that I had created, okay? I see how I've already gone into that one and I made it 600. I'm gonna zoom up a little bit so you can see, it's too big. Too much. I want you to see how many leaves I've created in this. And now I'm going to scrub across the leaves so you can see not only does the stem grow, but the leaves pop out. So that's our eventual goal for this plant 01 comp. Let's go to the one that we just made, which of course doesn't have anything in it. Now the next page is going to be where we start to make a track mat, which is going to be based on Luna. It's going to be a Luna mat. And that's going to be, Luna stands for luminosity, and we're going to use the lightness of the color white to actually show this stroke growing. Let's get it done and kind of get it done fast. It says to make a solid and name it stroke. I'll of course make it stroke on screen. So let's go to layer, new solid, which is Command Y, okay, and let's make this comp size so it matches up exactly. I'll name this stroke on screen. And then make comp size color black and everything is cool. And yes, that's fine. And now what we're going to do here is we are going to turn off the visibility to see the stroke underneath. But we're going to get the G key and we're going to draw in the direction that we want the stem to grow. If I go back to the PDF, do you see over here, I want you to draw in the direction that the stem is growing. So when we use the end transform, we can make it be from 0 to 100 and it will make sense. So the end is at 0. The end of the stem, look where I'm circling, is up here. We want that to be at 100 at the end and then all the way to 0 at the beginning. So let's go back and take that off screen and go like this with the solid selected. Hit Command S to save the file. You can either go to Effect, Generate Stroke, and choose it all the way on the bottom here, or just type in stroke into the effects and presets and go down to Effect, Generate Stroke. It's the same thing. Let's drop that right over the stroke, so now the stroke solid, so now we actually have a stroke in there. You know what? I forgot to draw it, so let me Command Z back. No big deal. Let me get rid of this and close that panel. Okay, let me get the G key. It would be nice if I actually finish this off. Let me make that get bigger. Now watch how I draw the stroke. Starting from the bottom, let's draw the stroke as it moves its way up. Oops, I am actually drawing a mask. So I don't want that to be a mask. I want this to be a stroke. So let me delete it out. And I have to make sure that I am selected. Oh, I made a shape layer. Because I started as a shape layer because I didn't have the stroke solid selected. See what I'm saying? It's good that I make mistakes. So let me delete that out. Click on the stroke layer so the pen knows, let me fit that again, so the pen knows that I'm actually drawing a mask, which I'm not going to close. So now I'll start to draw the mask. If you don't have anything selected, it'll think you want to draw a shape layer. Not a big deal. Let's go up here. You can see that I'm trying to cover it as I go. I'm doing a pretty good job of it. I'll have to edit just a little bit of it just to get it right. And now let's hold the Command key and click on the points to see the handlebars. And let's take and fix our Bezier curve here, just like Illustrator. Let me come down. Whoops. Let me Z back. I'm going to have to get back to the mask. I selected away from the mask. Not a big deal. Let me click the M key and click on Mask Path. Now, let me take the Command key and click on this away and click back on it there. Do you see how I did that? When you select away from it, go down here and click on the word mask. You'll have your mask back, and now we can go back and we can edit. It's just that I missed grabbing the Bezier handle by just a little bit. Not a big deal, okay? Now, you can see if I turn off the stem visibility how close I am to actually having that drawn nicely. I'm actually missing it just a touch right there. Fine, that's good. Now, let's go do what I did a few seconds ago. Let's add the stem. Let's hit fit. Now, let's add the stem. Turn on the visibility now, because it says so on step 5. And let me see where that says so on step 5. Press 1. Yeah, turn on visibility right at the beginning. Now, let's go down and add the stroke again. So let me go down a little bit. Let's go to stroke, generate, put it right on top of the stroke that's on screen. Up here in the effect window, yes, of course, it's mask 1. We need this to be kind of wide. I know on, I said 14. I'm going to make mine a little bigger at 16. You can make yours as big as you want. And let's have the hardness go all the way up to 100. So now there's our stroke. As you can see it on screen, covers our stem, absolutely perfect. Now, what we need to do is animate 2 points. That's all we need to do. So let me click the effect. Let me hit the M key on this to close it and hit the E key so I can see the stroke effect. Now, at the home key, let's click the stopwatch at 0, 0 and make the stroke have no length. So I put it on 0. Let's hit the end key so the timeline goes all the way to the end of the file, and let's make the stroke have its entire length at 100. All right, now if I make this slightly bigger and I scrub the timeline, the stroke grows up. Now all we have to do, very simple, is tell the stroke that it's going to be used as a track mat. So let's close the stroke layer, click on the stem. Now watch the visibility go off on the stroke layer as soon as I tell the stem to use it as a track mat. So it's going to go Luna Mat based on lightness or white, and let's go use the stroke on screen. And now it's gone. It's not really gone, it's just being used as a mask. Okay, and it's going to mask itself out or mat itself out. Now if I click away from it, you can see that the stem indeed grows. Now that's the setup movie, and I want the very next movie to be the leaves, and we'll start right in on the leaves as soon as let me close and unclose that panel, and now we are 100% ready to do the leaves. We're going to go, whoops, wrong one. Here's the leaves. And now you can see how I have animated the leaves. What I hope to get is something close to this in the next movie. It doesn't have to be perfect, perfectly like this. And there's 3 steps to doing the leaves, which will hopefully make it not so hard. So I'm going to click back on this, hit Command S to save the file. We'll extend the stroke all the way out to the end of the file, and we'll hit Command S to save. And we are done.